Recently, I told you that Smite was coming to the Nintendo Switch, and it still is. I was under the impression that it was going to be released yesterday, but yesterday, instead of being released, it was available for pre-purchase, which I did, mostly because I love that game. But it comes with, if you pre-purchase it, it comes with the Ultimate God Pack, which guarantees that you have all of the current gods as well as all future gods. And it's $30, I think, at that point. I can't remember now. But it's well worth it. If you are going to play Smite at all, you definitely want to get that pack because you're going to spend a lot less money in the long run. If you aren't sure and you have access to any other console or PC, you can download the game for free and try it out. And then you can make your decision whether or not you want to get the ultimate pack or whatever. This is an online game, so some may say that there's no real advantage to playing it on the Switch over playing it on the PS4 or the Xbox One, where the graphics would be better. And I agree with that. For me, it's more about where are my friends. My friends list on the Switch is huge because I do a Switch podcast, and my PS4 has very few friends on there because I don't play it all that much. And most of the games that I play on there are solo games, with the exception of probably Overwatch and Final Fantasy 14. So it makes a lot of sense for me to play it on the Switch where I have lots of friends. That being said, Hi-Rez Studios recently put out an FAQ, and on that FAQ, they are talking about crossplay and cross progression. So let me explain what all of those things are. Crossplay means that you are able to play with people on other consoles, which is very important and very awesome. This isn't the first time that we've seen it. Fortnite does that, which is great. By the way, Fortnite just got Game of the Year. We'll talk more about that later. But crossplay really it expands the player pool, and because it's expanding the player pool, you're going to wait less time to get a match. One of the bad things about having all of the different platforms in their own little silos is that if you are playing on the platform that has the smallest number of people, you also have the longest wait times to get a match. That being said, cross play and cross progression is what we're talking about today. What is cross progression? Cross progression, I can't talk today. Cross progression is where if you unlock a skin or hit a level on the PS4, well, we'll say the Xbox One, because there's some what's the word I'm looking for? There's some back and forth about whether or not PS4 is going to be included in this. But cross progression, if you unlock a skin on one console, you get it on the other consoles as well. So basically, just like Fortnite does now, not how they started out, but how they do now, to where, let's say I start playing and I unlock the new skin or whatever, and then I shut down my Switch and open up my PC and log in on the same account, I have the same stuff, which is an awesome thing. So there's an FAQ over at Hi-Rez's site, which let's go ahead and take a look at it. It says, when will crossplay and cross progression go live? That's going to be in mid to late January 2019. Now, the game is currently up for pre-order right now, and so it's not out yet. It's coming out in January, so this looks like it's going to come out a little bit after the game releases. So they said mid to late January 2019. They want to know if it's going to support cross-platform voice chat. They said, yes, we will be adding cross-platform voice chat to Smite and Paladins along our cross-play system. Cross-platform voice chat will be added to Realm Royale at a later date. And I haven't talked about this yet, but Realm Royale is basically Hi-Rez's version of Fortnite, which has some things that make it different. I'm not going to spend time talking about that today. If you guys want me to do a YouTube video about the differences between them, then let me know. Let's see, what else? Does the PC have to wait for console certification to be updated? This is actually pretty interesting, the way that they do that. They said no, and what they mean by this is whenever they do a patch on the PC, it happens as soon as they decide to hit the button. Whenever they do a patch on console, it happens after the console makers say, okay, you can go ahead with that. So that kind of slows things down. So they were asked, is that going to be a problem? Basically, they said, no, our technology will allow for environments to be updated at several times. However, if there is one environment, like let's say Xbox, that is updated before, let's say, Switch, then crossplay between those platforms won't work or will be disabled until they're back on the same version. That should be a problem that's few and far between, though. My guess is that they will push the patches out to the console developers or the console manufacturers, and they'll wait to get an okay from everybody, and then they'll say, okay, let's push them out all at the same time. And I assume this is what Blizzard does with Overwatch. They said, the next question, how will this impact the separate PC and console esports scene? So if you ever pay attention to Smite, which is an esport, they have two different championships, basically. They have the one championship that is on PC, and then they have the other one, which is on console, and never the two shall meet. They said here, in 2019, we will continue to support separate and dedicated Smite and Paladins esports leagues. So they're going to keep them separate, which I think is a good idea, because you don't want people with a mouse and keyboard competing with people who are on a gamepad. Now, that being said, right now, the PS4 has full support for mouse and keyboard. I don't know if it works in Smite, but I know that there are games where you can plug in a mouse and keyboard and use them as your control inputs, giving you an advantage over other players, which is not cool. Fortnite got around this by detecting what control method the player was using and funneling them into the matchmaking system based on controller input options, which is something that I think was a really good idea, and I think that they did a good job with that. I want Epic Games to continue to do that, so that if I want to hook a controller up to, say, my iPad and play Fortnite on my iPad Pro, which has this huge, massive screen, I am not interested in touch controls. I want to connect a controller to it, and I want to be with other people who have controllers. I don't want to be matched with people who are using touch controls, because I would have a huge advantage over them, and it would take away the fun for me, and it would take away the fun for them. So I think it's very good that they're keeping their PC and console esports scenes separated. Let's see, one more question on here. Here we go. Will you have cross-platform leaderboards? They say, yes, for cross-play platforms, there is a global cross-platform leaderboard, as players will be able to move freely across all platforms and input methods on a single account. All players will be tracked on the same leaderboard, regardless of their main platform or control scheme. I mean, I don't really care about leaderboards myself, but I know it's very important to some people. They want to see their name in lights. Like, I remember back in the day when I first, well, actually, it wasn't too long ago. I was reading an old episode, an old issue of Electronic Gaming Monthly, and they have the at the end of the magazine, they have like scores, and I was looking through the all the people for scores to see, was there any names that I recognized in there, because that would be totally weird. Just like, I think it was Cliff Blazinski, who works for, well, he used to work for whatever studio made Gears of War. I can't remember what the name of that studio is. He had the top score in Mario in an issue of Nintendo Power, which I thought was really interesting. So there you go. They're going to have cross-platform. Now, I don't know if it's true or not, because I'm not seeing it anywhere, but I read somewhere, and I was on my phone and I didn't bookmark it and I can't find it again, but I read somewhere that the PS4 will not be supporting this. I don't know if it's true or not. I think that Sony learned their lesson with the whole Fortnite debacle, and for them to allow Fortnite to do it and not allow whatever this is, Smite to do it. I think that would be very, very bad. I don't think that what I read was true. I think it was just a rumor. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look right now, because I forgot that this story was in my show notes. So let me just look it up right now. Smite cross-platform PS4. And we'll see what they say. Well, there's a bunch of YouTube videos. I don't want a YouTube video. I want to... All right, here we go. This is at pushsquare.com. It says, free-to-play juggernauts, Smite, and Paladins announce cross-play support on everything but PS4, which is probably coming later. So I guess it is true. They are not allowing crossplay with Smite on the PS4. You know what that means? It means I'm going to delete Smite from my PS4. That's the only thing that it means. I'm not going to play it on the PS4, just like I don't play Fortnite on my PS4, even though I only play Fortnite at my desk. It would be better for me to play on my PS4 because it has crossplay. But right now, I can't link my account because I have two separate accounts, and I'm waiting for Epic Games to let me put those two accounts together. And until they do, I refuse to play it on my PS4. As soon as that happens, I'll play it on my PS4 instead of my Switch, because I can still play with my Switch friends, and I can get the better visuals, higher frame rate, and all that stuff. This is exactly how I feel about Smite and the PS4. I'm not going to be playing it on the PS4 until it has cross-play and cross-progression. I'm going to just play it on the Switch, and that's just going to have to be how it is. The one thing that I am curious about with this whole cross-progression thing is, did I throw away my money? And I know you might be asking, well, if you like the game, you're not really throwing away your money. And you're right. But I purchased the Ultimate God Pack on the PC like 3 years ago, and I really liked it. And then when they announced that they were bringing it to the Switch, I bought the Ultimate God Pack. And I wonder if my cross progression would mean that I bought that twice for nothing. I'm not sure. Only time will tell. But at a bare minimum, I supported a developer who makes a game that I really, really enjoy. And at the end of the day, I'm okay with that.